Welcome to the top 20 cards in sports collecting history. In this 4-part series, I will be going over the 20 greatest sports cards of all time depicted by the book, The Diamondbacks Collection, 50 of the greatest cards in sports collecting history, written by Tom Zappala and Ellen Zappala with John Mallory. In this video, I will only cover the top 20 cards, but the other 30 cards in this book will be covered in future videos. As a disclaimer, the cards in this list are not ranked based off of monetary value, but based on the perception of greatness in the hobby of sports card collecting. However, the cards in this list can carry a high price tag. This is part 1 of our journey. Starting off with number 20 is the 1986 Fleer Michael Jordan number 57. Over time, a limited number of sports cards morph into something more than their technical attributes would amount to by themselves. The 1986 Fleer Michael Jordan is a prime example. There are plenty of Michael Jordan issue manufacturers throughout his playing career that are superior when it comes to scarcity and market value from a pound-for-pound perspective, but no single card of the post-19 era possesses more symbolic value than this mainstream rookie card. It is arguably the most recognizable card on the planet, regardless of era or sport. The image alone acts as ambassador for the hobby, and that kind of visual power is limited to just a handful of iconic collectibles. The colorful borders are susceptible to chipping and wear, while print defects and modest centering issues can impact the grade. It is also perhaps the most widely counterfeited trading card ever produced, so buyers must beware. Appropriately, the card resides in what many consider to be the most popular sports card set ever made. Of course, part of the 132 card set's immense appeal is due to the Jordan's rookie presence, but this legendary card is surrounded by fellow superstars of the period. In that era is often referred to as the golden age of basketball. The 1980s began with Magic Johnson-Larry Bird rivalry, and the 1990s ended just before a Shaq-Kobe three-peat started in Los Angeles. Right in the middle of it all was a dominant run by a man who rose above the rest to earn the moniker of the GOAT. Number 19, the 1951 Bowman Willie Mays number 305. Over the past few years, there are a few names from the vintage sports card world that would have ascended to new heights as greater collector appreciation has emerged for their accomplishments. Two that come to mind are Jackie Robinson, for somewhat obvious reasons, and this man, Willie Mays. Still regarded by many as the greatest 5-tool player in the history of the sport, Mays has started to be viewed in the light he deserved for so many years. No position, player, past or present, could hit with power, run, field, and throw at his level over the course of a 20-plus year career. This classic card, which is Mays' only recognized rookie, has long been desirable, but in recent times it has gradually started closing the gap on the 1951 Bowman set fellow anchor, the Mickey Mantle rookie, when it comes to market value. In addition to both the Mays and Mantle rookie issues, which both reside in tougher high-number series 253 to 324, an inaugural card of Whitey Ford completes the trio of key rookies to this very popular set. The colorful artwork has long made this 324-card Bowman release a collector favorite. In terms of difficulty, the card itself is often found with below-average centering. Since the card images were framed with relatively thin white borders, subpar centering can hinder the eye appeal in a meaningful way. Number 18, 1948 Bowman George Mikan, number 69. When it comes to the 4 major sports in this hobby and the collectors who pursue trading cards, there is no greater frustration than the one found in vintage basketball. There is simply not much to choose from. Sets were sparse from the 1940s through the 1960s, when so many iconic players were active. On the other hand, the lack of options make the sets that were released all the more important. Collectors often refer to a, quote, big 3 in vintage basketball, which includes the 1957 Topps and 1961 Fleer sets. You could argue a 4th set, the 1969 Topps, should be included in that group as well, but it all started with the 1948 Bowman, and the key to that issue is the George Mikan rookie. Mikan was the sport's first major star, hence his nickname, Mr. Basketball. He was also the game's first dominant big man, while posing an intimidating size for the time at 6'10", 245 pounds. Mikan's look and genial personality away from the court was more, quote, Clark Kent than Superman. On the court, however, Mikan was unstoppable force. Unlike the red-caped superhero, Mikan just kept the glasses on while doing his thing. The card showcases the center driving towards the basket, and it suggests that defenders better get out of his way. Before they became a staple in Los Angeles, Mikan led the Minneapolis Lakers to 5 championships in 6 years, which brought the word dynasty into pro basketball for the first time. Number 17, 1935 National Chicle Bronco Nagurski, number 34. Traveling through sports history will often reveal how much the game and the players have changed over the years. There are times when you might wonder how an athlete of the past would stack up against the athletes of today. Currently, there is no doubt that the average player is bigger, stronger, and faster than most who played decades ago. In the case of Bronco Nagurski, however, it would be interesting to see how the modern players would deal with him rather than the other way around. Some guys look like they could bend iron with their hands or run through a brick wall, and Nagurski is one of them. As Steve Owen of the New York Giants once said of him, quote, "The only way to stop Nagurski is to shoot him before he leaves the dressing room. He looks like a football player. His name sounds like a football player. His 1935 National Chicle card is the beneficiary of it all." National Chicle, which is also responsible for the 1934 to 1936 Diamond Star Series in baseball, decided to jump into the football card market, one that went relatively unserved until the late 1940s when Bowman and Leaf entered the fold. Topps would soon join those two manufacturers in the 1950s, but the 1930s were another story. For their lone gridiron effort, the Cambridge, Massachusetts company utilized a design that was virtually identical to their baseball cards, which had an Art Deco appearance. The 36 card set contains some iconic names from the college and professional ranks, such as Newt Rockne, card number 9, and it features a tough high number series 25 to 36, which are believed to have been produced in far fewer numbers as national interest in the release declined after the first run 1 through 24. Number 16. 1954 Topps Hank Aaron, number 128. There are certain cards, albeit a limited number of them, that possess a symbolic value, one that extends far beyond the featured player or the set in which it resides. The 1954 Topps Hank Aaron is one of those cards. The card itself is a centerpiece of one of the most desirable issues in hobby history, and the man pictured is one of the finest players to ever step between the white lines. That said, the image of the card offers something more. When the hobby became a nationwide phenomenon in the 1980s, this was one of the cards that acted as a virtual logo for an entire industry. That sentiment remains true today. First, let's talk about the set and the card. The 1954 Topps set, a 250 card issue that began and ends with Ted Williams, is one of the most eye-catching releases of the decade. Booming with color, this set has been a collector favorite. In addition to its outstanding aesthetics, the set offers 3 major rookie cards in Ernie Banks, Al Kaline, and of course Aaron's only mainstream rookie. Hammer and Hank was included in some early regional issues such as Spick and Span and Johnston Cookies, but the Topps card is the unquestioned Aaron card to own. Condition obstacles include poor centering, print defects in the orange background, and chipping along the green reverse. Thank you for joining me in discussing the top 20 cards in sports collecting history. Leave your thoughts below in the comment section. I'd love to hear what you think about the cards we covered in this video. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, and also consider subscribing to the channel if you're new or haven't considered subscribing. I'll see you in the next one.